Hello, my darlings. You are so very, very welcome to our spiritual author book camp, our 3-day live event. I have so much to share with you. I'm really, really excited. This is the first time I've ever put something together like this. Usually I'm just working with spiritual entrepreneurs on business creation, or I'm teaching people about angels and as an angel intuitive and a spiritual business mentor. So I'm teaching people to connect with their angels. So this is the first time that I've put together something like this, and it's on the back of a book collaboration that I created last autumn. And it went really, really well. I loved it so much that I thought I'm going to continue with this. So I'm committed to working with as many authors as possible this year, spiritual entrepreneurs who want to become authors. And this book camp is my first offering or contribution to all of you who want to write a book this year. So I hope that it supports you. Anytime you have a question, I want this to be interactive. You have a question, you have a thought, you have an aha, you have an oh my God, post in the chat box. That's what it's there for. And if I don't get a chance to comment through the workshop, through the book camp, I will do it at the end. It's going to be an awesome few days. And I'm going to click into the slides because that will just keep me on track. And so let me just see. Okay, my darlings. So here we are, spiritual author book camp. Can everybody see me? See this? So at the end of this book camp for spiritual authors, you'll have a book idea and a roadmap to achieve it. So that is my goal, my overall desire for all of you at the end of this book camp. So let me know how you're feeling right now about this. Congratulations, you got here. 90% of learning is just showing up. I show this slide at every single presentation that I do because somebody said this to me years ago and it really made a difference. And it really cut through all the BS that went on in my mind about, worrying about, was I good enough? Was I in the right place? Was I in the right room? And a mentor of mine just said to me, just fucking show up. Just show up in the rooms. And she used to say to me, get to the front of the class, Aishling. Sit in the front. There was once that was a speed reading workshop weekend that I was on. And I spoke to her, she organised, and she said to me, just get to the front of the room, Aishling, and soak it up. The atmosphere, the information, whatever you need. So, and I've really taken that on board and I share it with as many of you as possible. 90% is just showing up. Just get yourself in the room and then assume that whatever information you need, you're going to take with you. So what we'll cover in the next 3 days, we're going to do a quick introduction. We're going to set our intention. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. And this is what I want to get through in the next 3 days. It's going to be about 90-minute sessions. So about 15 minutes presentation, a little bit of, I hope it's going to be interactive. I really want you to have a Google Doc open or a notepad in front of you and you're taking notes throughout this. You're actually taking action. Day 2. So day 1 is identifying clear blocks. This is critical to your success as an author. And we're going to go through 6 blocks that I've identified. There's lots more, but these are the key ones that stop people and that stop me from writing my book for years and years. So day 2 is discovering and deciding on your book idea. So I'll teach you all my strategies and techniques and everything that you need to just get your book idea down or create lots of ideas. And then book 3 is your roadmap and your blueprint. So this is where you just literally lay out what's going to be in your book. So today we're looking at identifying clear 6 author blocks to writing and publishing your book. At the end, we look at next steps. We look at action steps that you're going to take and Q&A. And so that's how I'm going with the day. This is a quote from my book, which is going to be released in March. By the end of this journey, you'll have the tools, knowledge, and confidence to write and publish, create, write, and publish your book. This is your chance to share your voice, make a difference, and leave a lasting impact. So what are you waiting for? Let's dive into the world of book mastery together and make your publishing dreams a reality. Love this. So what you'll need, keep yourself hydrated, make sure you have a Google Doc open or a Word doc or a notepad in front of you. Make sure you have time afterwards to implement what comes up in this workshop, because it's not, if you just come and listen and then go away and do nothing, then I haven't really done the job that I set out to do. This is not the reason for this workshop. The reason for this event is that you actually come out at the end of it with a plan for your book that you can follow. Watch out for any intuitive messages, and just, acknowledge for yourself and for me, every time I come on live, every time I do this, I work with spiritual entrepreneurs. So it is a community. It's a little pot, a healing pot, that we all bring our little healing gifts and skills and abilities to any space that I'm hosting. So just allow for this to be a healing experience for you. And watch out for any little sparks or messages from your angels. The scariest moment is always just before you start. So just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, my darlings. We are about to start. This is a little bit about me for anyone that doesn't know me. It's brand new. I'm 20 years in spiritual business, 10 years online. I've could wallpaper my house with qualifications and certificates I've picked up over the years. The one I'm probably really proud of is that I'm a qualified teacher of adults, BA Honours Degree in Adult Education and Training, but I have a million other certificates in NLP, reflexology. I'm a trained massage therapist, everything. And I have, my vision is of healers and light workers sharing their knowledge and healing gifts with the world in a sustainable and profitable way. And I have worked since 2014. I've spent a fortune working with some of the top mentors in the world to learn about business and marketing. And that is usually what I share with my audience. And I'm Irish, but I live in the north of Italy with my family. My publications, Angels Are With You, my book, Oracle Card, Deck, Archangel Messages. Some of you will probably have these two publications. Book Mastery, this is coming out in, 2 months. And the Spiritual Millions book collaboration, 22 authors that I just worked together. We've just completed the book and the actual launch. We're in the formatting stage, we're in the book cover stage, and the book will be published in April. And I've also created 15 online courses, which thousands of people have participated in over the last 10 years. This is just going to give you a quick note on this. I'm going to go deeper into it at the very, very end of today, but just to let you know that this opportunity is available. If you need a book coach and you want to be one of 11 people who work with me this year, you can take a look at my brand new program, the Empowered Author Coaching Program, Ignite, and it's at this URL, aishlingmooney.com/ignite. And it's a 6 months coaching program, and will take you from literally idea to finished, published book, and self-published book. So if you're interested in that, you can have a look at the URL, see if it's resonating. If you want to talk to me about it, reach out, and we can see if it's a fit. There are only 11 places on this, and I'm enrolling right now. So if you're interested, do reach out as soon as possible. I expect those places to be filled by the end of this week. So, why is this not moving? Oh, here we go. So let us just take a minute to set our intention. Let me just stop the share for just a moment. So let's just take a minute to set our intention. So if you can write in the chat, what is it? Why are you here? What is it that you want to achieve by being here today, by being here for the next 3 days, for signing up for this Spiritual Author BooKcamp? So if you can just write in the chat for me, what is your intention? What is the dream? What is the one thing? I mean, apart from the obvious, I know it's to write a book, but if we can just name it in the chat, it would be really, really useful. So if you can just name, so I want you to write, I want this to be interactive. So what is your goal? What is it that you want to achieve by being here over the next 3 days with me, with this incredible group of amazing mostly women, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. You know, what is it that you want to achieve by being here? And I think of that myself. I want to deliver amazing content. I want to make it possible for everybody to believe that they can be an author, to fulfill my life purpose, to clarification on my next steps, what to write about and for whom, love it. Publish my first personal development book by the end of this year, absolutely love it. Brilliant, brilliant. Love all those. To learn and get ideas. Don't worry about the camera, that's fine. Great, it's lovely to have you here, Julie. So lovely to have everybody here. If there's anybody that's missing that you know that they need to be here live and they're available, just send them the link, get them in. Okay, so brilliant. So we're gonna continue with the so we've set our intention. Our intentions are really, really important. So it's, have you been told that you have a book inside you? Or who of you here watching, whether it's live or the replay, has had a dream since childhood of writing a book? So from when I was 8 years of age, I told everyone I was going to be a writer, I was going to be an author, I was going to write books. And in reality, I was 49 when I published my first book. So it took me a long, long time to become a published author. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why it took me so long and possibly can take you so long. So I want to just do a check-in. How confident are you right now today, this moment, before going through this content? How confident are you that you can write and publish a book between 1 and 10? 1 being, I'm not confident at all, I'll never do it. And 10 being, I absolutely know that I can do this. So I just want to check in. So just post in the comments for me right now, because this is really important for you to check in with this number, because we're going to see how it has changed towards the end of the book camp today. So really, really important for you to 8, oh, love this, well done, brilliant. 7, 5, 9, 10, 8. Okay, love all this, brilliant. Okay, so just keep that number in mind for when we get to the end of the presentation. So just a little bit about me. I've traveled the world. I've lived in 5 different countries. You know, I now live in Italy, in Lake Garda. Sorry, not in Lake Garda, but Lake Garda's about an hour from here. Lake Como's about an hour and a half. And this is a photograph of me last summer by the lakes. And this is me and my love in Machu Picchu in Peru on our traveling days. And this is us in Lake Titicaca. And I lived in Brazil for 2 years. I also lived in Paris. I lived in Florida. So I've traveled the world. I've done many things. I have 2 incredible kids. I have a beautiful man sharing my life with. Nothing, apart from, okay, marriage and kids, right? Nothing compares to the moment when I held my book in my hand for the first time on the 22nd of February 2020, 4 years ago. And it's the book Angels Are With You. And I still get a fucking thrill from this book. I don't know if you could see me in the little thing there. This is the book. And nothing gives me more of a thrill than still holding that book or sharing it with people. So nothing compares to it, really, really. And I was watching something on YouTube Shorts this morning, and there was a girl that I follow just got her book of poetry, and she did a reveal of her sharing this. And it was just the joy and the excitement. I was like, nothing beats it. So, you know, and I want that for every single one of you. I want that for you, that you are maybe in 6 months, definitely by the end of this year, that you're holding your book in your hands. That was a very bad hair day. It was literally early in the morning, not my best photo, but I just couldn't hold the excitement. I was like, I just have to take a photo now and share it on social media and tell everybody. Because I had a lot of people supporting me with that book. So yeah, it was a community effort. So why would you write a book? Impact, increase your expertise and credibility as a light worker, it can give you a massive confidence boost and really, say to yourself, I am an author, I am a writer. It can be a memoir, you can leave it something for your family. It can be a lead magnet in your business, so you can totally do a free ebook very, very quickly. It can be a new skill that once you write your book, you just rinse and repeat. And it's also a money-making asset. So once you put your book up on, if you self-publish your book, it literally generates money. Every 30 days, Amazon sends me a notification to say that they've just deposited royalties from my books. Sometimes it's only a few euros, and sometimes it's a few €100. So it's, and I don't have to do anything. I wrote that book once, and all I need to do is really advertise it and share it with my audience. And people just keep buying that book. I was really amazed. Even like in December, maybe 10 people bought the book, and I did no advertising or no sharing. So it's a money-making asset. And the more books you have up there, I mean, you're not going to make a fortune with one book, to be honest. But if you go on to create a series of books, or you start to build your library of books, so once you have this skill, you can continue with that. You can also create low content books, diaries, journals, as well as your fiction or non-fiction, or your particular, whatever it is that you want to share your healing process. But once you start building your repertoire or your library of books, this can be just a money-making asset. They are literally assets. So a question: why haven't you written or published your book yet? So so some of you watching this might have already published a book, but maybe you're stalling on the next one, or maybe you've never written a book, but you've had this dream for your whole life. Why is it that you haven't written or published your book? Why, if you did know what the reason was, why do you think it is? And if you can write that in the chat now. So that could be you haven't had the time, you haven't had the encouragement, you haven't had the coaching, you haven't had the accountability, you didn't have the support at home. You were in a season of life where you're mad busy with kids or looking after elderly parents. You just didn't know where to start. You didn't have the idea. Whatever it is, write in the chat now, why is it that you think you haven't written your book? The cost of doing so. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's so cheap to fucking write a book. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So Chilla is saying she's a co-author of a book. Love that. Well done. You're going to write your own book this year. For my new book, I haven't taken the time to sit down. It's only an idea. Love that. Focus more on script writing and performing, and the time hasn't been right to publish the scripts. Okay, love it. Lack of confidence and focusing on other things. So that's okay. So I'm about to show you 6 blocks that I personally have experienced and that I've seen other authors experience. And it's some of the reasons that we don't write our books, that we have, I waited until I was 49 before I published my book. So 6 author blocks and how to dissolve them. We're going to go into every single one of these, and we're going to bust them out of the water. We're going to blast them. You're going to be at the end going, oh my God, that those 5, 6, 7, 8s are going to go to 10s, hopefully. Season of life, baby George is here listening to Inspire and juggling an 8-week-old. Oh my God, congratulations. Nothing better than baby smell. I love baby. Still remember my breastfeeding my youngest. I have 2 kids, teenagers, a 16 and 12-year-old, but I still remember smelling my baby's heads. So enjoy every minute of it, Kate, love. Belinda, focusing more on art, recovering from narcissistic abuse, and raising my kiddos. Okay, my darling. So we're going to look at these blocks. So the blocks that I see, writing your memoir first, believe it or not, can be a block to you actually getting your book out there. No time, no plan, not understanding the season that you're in, your motivators, no accountability, no cheerleaders, no author identity established, and no understanding of self-publishing versus traditional publishing. So we're going to go through all of these. Any ahas that you get, any insights, any, oh my God, I didn't know this, now this is going to be the thing that can just unblock me and get my book out there, I would love to hear in the chat as we go through these 6 blocks. I think they're so important. So the first one, writing your memoir first. So, my darling, this is probably not the best idea for your first book. Writing your memoir is a deeply healing journey. And honestly, it can require years to complete because the timing, the trauma, and the willingness, they're all factors, you know. And so if I think about my memoir, there are pieces of my life story that I don't want my kids to know about right now. They're not old enough. So my complete memoir is probably going to wait for another 10 years until my kids are, you know, my youngest is 22 and my oldest is 28, and they'll be able to process all the parts of my story without damaging them or causing them trauma. So, I mean, that's just a simple reason for your memoir. But also, writing your memoir can bring up SHIT. It can bring up everything that, you know, whether it doesn't matter how much therapy or healing or trauma that you've already processed, reliving your story can bring up stuff. So it is, in my opinion, not the best first book. So my antidote to that, how to blast through this first block, would be to choose instead to write about your particular healing process or a system that you've developed and you want to share with the world. And then you can, throughout that book, sprinkle in stories and your stories and your client stories. So you can share your step-by-step process, and my advice is to make it easy. So I have a question. What's your particular, the 3-book series would be a memoir-based thing, but that's waiting a while. Yes. So that could be what is holding you back, Belinda. So what is your particular healing process? So if I was to ask you now, what is it that you can share with the world right now? Like, and then how many steps are there, and write them down in your Google Doc or share them in the chat with us. So if I was to ask myself right now, this minute, I would say I could write an angel, 365 angel messages at the drop of a hat. I could totally do that. I could write, I teach a course, 12 archangels, transformed angels. I could totally write a book on 12 archangels. I could write a book on 20 elements around spiritual business. So for spiritual business entrepreneurs, I could write a book on how to create your first course. And I'm about to release a book on how to write your book, how to market using social media, how to run a business while you're managing a household and kids, how to run a spiritual business. What's the difference between a spiritual business and a traditional business? So off the top of my head, I can think of lots of things straight away that I could teach and talk about. I also cleared a lot of debt. I cleared 250,000 euros worth of debt in 4 years. I had a 14-year plan and I cleared it in 4 years. I could totally write a book on that. How to manage your money for spiritual entrepreneurs. So write in the chat now, what is it that you could, what one thing, what would you love to share? What do you know now that you didn't know maybe a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that you would love to share with some people? It could be how to get your baby asleep. It could be how to do Facebook ads, how to use social media to monetize your business. It could be how to raise teenagers. It could be raising kids without tech. It could be, you know, a million ideas. So I really want you to just brainstorm here for a moment. You know, let's use this space together. Love starts with yourself. Love that. Oh my God. Healing inspiration through healing art, color, and words. Love it. Changing limited beliefs. My process is I address my limiting beliefs. Love it. Well done. I could write a book on how to withstand manipulation, but not sure I want to go there. So as I said, you might be going into memoir territory, and that might be a little bit. So maybe look at a simpler process that you can detach, be a little bit, you're not going to get in there and have to do a big healing journey around that, Belinda. So, but you can totally, it's an idea, so throw it down there. One idea can lead to another. A magical children's book with my elemental artwork. Oh my God, I love it. Creating a legacy. Love that. So lots of ideas. So that's where we want to start. Tomorrow, we're going to look at the ideas in more depth. We're going to really generate loads of ideas. And then in day 3, we're going to start to create your blueprint for your book. So, we're just starting, we're just opening the door here to get you to start thinking about what could you write a book about? This is just where we're starting. So number 2, second block, no time scheduled. Our lives are full. A lot of people will say, I'm going to write a book. I did for years and years, and opened the computer one day and sat down and decided to start writing, and then gave up after an hour, or wrote and wrote and wrote, maybe for a week even. I sat down and wrote for a week, but then stopped. And a lot of that was that I didn't have a proper schedule laid out. I didn't have, I'm just going to move this. Oh, there's somebody else joining. So I didn't have a proper schedule. I didn't have a time every day. And I'm just going to talk to you about time now, just before you go into overwhelm and go, time. None of us have any time. All of our lives are full to the brim. Like every single person, nobody here is going to say, right, I can suddenly manifest hours to write a book. So it requires us sitting down and making a plan, basically making a plan. So it's about finding time in your calendar, create accountability and rewards. So so if you're creating a plan to write, so let's say 6 months is a good amount of time to say you're going to write and publish a book, in my opinion. If it's not a memoir, a memoir is probably 2 years. That's being honest. But if it's a process book, a healing process, or something that you want to share, you're talking about maybe 6 months, 3 months to write your book, to get your first crappy, terrible draft out, then maybe another month of editing and refining, then formatting cover and putting it up on Amazon, and then doing the whole launch process. So you're talking about 6 months. But where is my little cursor gone? There it is. So take things off your calendar, eliminate distractions and time drains, learn to say no, delete Netflix when you write your book. So we're going to just jump into this slide now. This is a question for you. Where can you find 3 hours in your calendar right now this week? So just have a think about that for a minute. What are your time drains? So, I was teaching another workshop, and I was saying, I've done this. I've gone online to check something, and an hour later, I'm looking at fucking pussycats meowing or falling off furniture or looking cute, or pet rescue. I love that sort of stuff. So I have scrolled. All right, my vice is Netflix shorts. So I could get lost on Netflix shorts. So it's really, and I'm telling you that I can find 3 hours in my calendar right now, where if I just took Netflix shorts off my phone. So when I was YouTube shorts off my phone, when I was hosting the book collaboration in the autumn over 3 months, I cancelled my Netflix subscription because I just didn't want to binge watch any series. I wanted to take that time back for me, for writing my book, for supporting the 22 authors that were working with me in that series. So where can you find 3 hours in your calendar right now? What are your time drains? Consider, are you an early bird? Are you a night owl? Do you work better in the morning? I do. I work a lot better in the morning. I prefer to get up early. But there's some people I know that love to work in the afternoons. So some people that work better in the evenings. So, understanding what season of life you're in. Are you caring for young children? I'm in a season now, I have 2 teenagers. It is a completely different season and a completely different level of freedom and time than when I had 10 years ago when I had 2 young kids running around. So, understanding the season of life that you're in, you might not be, I could find an hour a day to write, but maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, it could have been 20 minutes a day that I could have committed to. So, really thinking about what season of life you're in, and maybe get your kids taken care of for a few hours, maybe have some tech-free times, stop scrolling on social media, stop volunteering for a few months, just for a few months. If there's something that you're doing, you're volunteering in the school or in a charity that you're passionate about, it might be time to just say, hey, I'm going to take a step back for 3 months because I'm writing my book. Creating a schedule where you have both, but understand that the default is designed to pull us back in. So this is about advertising that unless you have your schedule, unless you have your times where you're going to turn off the phone and you're not going to turn it on until you've written your work. So this is a quote from Marie Forleo. I actually should quote her right after this, but it's from Marie Forleo. I heard her on a video somewhere saying that what she does in the morning is she promises herself to do her work, her creation work, before she consumes social media, looks at her email, or goes online, so that she writes first or focuses on whatever it is that she's creating in the moment. So I would love, just write in the chat. Some ideas are not simple. Loads of love, everybody that's just joined as well. Understanding the seasons of life that you're in. Yes, brilliant, brilliant book idea. I love it. So what I want you to do is just tell me now, how many hours do you think you could find? Do you think that you could find 3 hours? Just write a Y in the chat. Or you can write 3, or you can write 2 or 1. How many hours could you find this week if I pushed you, if I said, look, you've got to find the time, you've got to write that book? How many hours could you find? And if you're doing this, if you're watching the replay, write that into your note or put it underneath the comments wherever you're watching this. Every single one of us, I really, really do believe that we could find between 1 and 3 hours a week to write our book. So here is a screenshot that I just Googled this morning just to see how long does it take to speak 1,000 words. And it says 6.5 to 8 minutes we speak 1,000 words. So sometimes we don't need to actually write a book. Sometimes we could, that you can go to Google, you can open a Google Doc, you can go into, I think it's in Tools, and you'll find the voice app in there. And you can literally click that and you can speak your words and they will magically appear in the doc written. And then you can go back and edit them at your leisure. So you can literally speak your book. If you only had 15 minutes a day, you could speak your first crappy, terrible draft. Please don't think that I'm being insulting when I say that. Everybody's first draft is shit. So just accept that. That will free you up from perfectionism and it will really support you to just get the words on the page. But can everybody speak into an app? Yes, right? Why? Yes, you can. So every single person here has the possibility to write 1,000 words, to speak 1,000 words into writing, into the Google app, or there's lots of them on your phone. And if you did that for 80 days, so let's take 90 days, maybe you have a few days off or you take the weekends off. In 90 days, you could have an 80,000 word first draft of your book. Now, fucking hell, give me an oh my God, give me an OMG, because this is, when I read this stat this morning, I was like, oh my God, it just really nothing, if we get this, then we can realize that, oh, it's the other things that are blocking us. It's not really time. It's about us allocating time and then deciding that we're going to write our book or speak our book. I could, but I would burn myself out writing 4 hours a day. Okay, yes, you could totally do it. You could totally do like write over a weekend. Elizabeth Gilbert, from one of an interview that I read of hers, she She, you know, her book, Signature of All Things, I don't know if anyone has read that. It's a beautiful book. She researched that book for 4 years and sat down and wrote it in 10 weeks in one big bang, the first draft of it. So was researching, was thinking about it, was gathering notes, but actually sat down to write the first draft of the book in 10 weeks. So it is totally possible. Oh my God, oh my God. So you just need to find the voice app that works for you. For me, my Irish accent, they really don't like my Irish accent. So I just have to speak a little bit slower. So let's say it takes 8 minutes to speak fast. It might take me 15 minutes to get 1,000 words because I'll be speaking very slowly into the app because otherwise it does. So you can adapt. You can find it. You can test some apps. Yeah, you can test some apps. Voice apps are not a native English speaker, so you could write in your own language, Chilla, and then put it into Translate. You can get the Translate. You could hire somebody on Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, to translate your piece, your work into English if you wanted. Or there's a million translator apps, I'm sure, out there now. I don't know one off the top of my head. I usually just hire somebody to do it for me. But you could totally write your book in your native language or speak your book in your native language and then edit it and then get it translated into English if you want. And you now have 2 books. Never mind the audiobook, you know, which can come later. So just a little bit about commitment, setting time to fill you. Let me just do a quick time check. Okay, we're on track. How's everybody doing? Are you okay? Set writing goals to fit your schedule and your season of life. Kids, work, parents, all of that. Divorce, separation, marriage, death of a loved one, college, life, starting a business. Wherever you are, you can still write a book. So you might just have to adapt your schedule to fit in with this dream of writing a book, but it is totally possible. J.K. Rowling wrote her book in a cafe. Maeve Binchy wrote her bestseller. I needed to edit this slide. Maeve Binchy wrote her bestseller, Right Henny Candle. It took her around 9 months, and every morning she would get up, she pulled out a trolley from underneath the stairs with her typewriter on it and clack, 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 typed for an hour before she went to work and had a very busy schedule and wrote her book in 9 months, and it became an international bestseller. So she was still working at the time. Marion Keyes writes in bed, international best-selling author. Louise Hay has at 51. And Lorna Byrne, author of Angels in My Hair, she recorded her whole book while she was a single parent, and she didn't write one single word. She actually has literacy difficulties and physically couldn't write a book. So she literally recorded the whole book using an app. And that was way back, 20 years ago. I don't know when her book was published. So not looking at the apps and the resources that we have right now. So you can give us the translator details again. My book is in French. Oh my God, love it, love it. What did you say about Google and Speak Your Book? You can open a Google Doc, and I think it's in Tools. It's in one of check in the menu bars. You'll find the Voice app. And you can literally click on that and you can record your voice. If you can just Google, how can I record my voice in a Google Doc? So, and it will open it, and literally you can speak into your computer, your phone, wherever you have the Google Doc open, and it will write the words that you're speaking on the page if you write slowly, if you speak slowly. But you can also open, go on your phone and have a look in the App Store and see what apps there are there for speech to text. Have a look at that and just test a few of them. You might have to pay for a decent one. You know, it could be like a $5. And just speaking of Fiverr, the other thing is FIVERR, Fiverr with 2 R's.com is a place where you can hire thousands, hundreds and thousands of people. So you can just literally go into their search engine and write speech, translate my book, or write my book, or whatever. I don't know. You know, I've given some of the people there on Fiverr, I've given them a video and I've said, put this into Word for me. So they've translated it into a Word doc. I've given docs to be edited, Fiverr for everything. So go and have a look on Fiverr. Well done on writing your book, Flora. I have my art space pretty sorted now. Love it. Need to create my space for writing. Yes. I'm not sure, but I think it might be in Word too. Okay. Oh, brilliant. Great. If it's in Word too, then that's fantastic. Yeah. So we might have the app as well in Word. So block 3. I'm so glad that you're interacting so well with this, and we're having a conversation around this. I think it would really help you to get it in the muscle, the ability that every single person here, whether you're watching live or watching the replay, has the possibility to be able to write and publish a book by the end of this year, if not in the next 6 months. So I took my family, we took a road trip from north of Italy to the very bottom, the heel of Italy. It is 2 days it took us to do, and I would never do it again. But when I was planning that trip, we had to plan rest stops, we had to plan snacks, we had to plan our route, we had to plan where we were going to stay overnight. We had to plan our destination. Unless you have a plan, and you're going to follow that plan every day, and it's a plan that fits in with you, fits in with the seasons of life that you're in, fits in with how you work. If you're really self-motivated, self-directed, or if you need accountability. So years ago, when I wrote the first book, Angels Are With You, I set up a little Facebook Messenger group with 4 other authors, and every day we just had a little text message. It was a little accountability group. We said, for 30 days, we're going to come in and write our book every day. So literally that was it. So every day I would go into that group and I would text, today I'm going to write 1,000 words, or today I'm going to sit for 2 hours, or today I'm going to do 30 minutes. And literally that's all it was. You just wrote your goal for that day, your writing goal for that day. And then by the end of the week, it would be, I wrote 4,000 words, I wrote 7,000 words, I wrote 1,000 words, whatever. And you celebrated and you kept going. And then at the end of that 30 days, I had my first crappy, terrible draft written of the book. So, you have to build an accountability that suits you. I work well with other people. If there's a really good quiz called the 4 Tendencies, I am an obliger, so I want to help people. I want to, I won't let people down. So I have a very strong sense of duty. And so if I say, I'm going to come in here and post tomorrow what I'm going to write about, that will motivate me to show up. Other people, my husband is very self-directed. He doesn't need any external motivation. He can just say, I'm going to do this. And he starts at A and he finishes at Z, one step at a time, and doesn't deviate. Where I have a tendency to start at A and jump to C and jump to Z and come back to N and go to P, unless I have accountability. So you need to figure out what works for you. Pick a date, when you're going to start and when you're going to finish, and pick your milestones in between that journey. So the first milestone is when you're going to complete your first crappy draft. So for example, let's say we take the writing a book, is 6 months. The first 3 months is writing your crappy draft, 1,000 words a day, whether you speak to text or you write that. 1,000 words a day over 90 days is your first draft. Terrible draft. Everybody's first draft is terrible. We just want words on the page. We want ideas. We want notes. We want whatever's coming to you to get it down there. So the first draft is your major milestone. And then after that, you would block off, okay, now I'm going to look at formatting, editing. You can do that yourself. You can pay somebody on Fiverr to do it for you. You can give it to a friend. Really, I'm going to talk more a little bit about that. And also just make sure that you really consider your season of life and make sure that your plan is suited to where you are right now. Be realistic and make sure that you're writing regularly, whether that's 3 days a week, whether that's every Saturday, whether that's 5 days a week, 5 mornings, 4 afternoons, whatever it is, but that it fits in with your plan. And it's just a little bit more here about knowing yourself, what works for you. Maybe hire a coach, get a buddy, jump into a program, get a community, whatever. Remember that done is better than perfect. Your first draft is going to be terrible. Just get the fucking book written. That is all you're going for your first draft. Let me just check the comments. Brilliant. Worked on a typewriter, well done. Loved it, yeah, love it. Okay, so, oh, where are we? Skipped ahead there. So, hope everybody's okay and you're staying with me. Well done. Fourth, so we have 6 blocks. So this is the fourth one. No accountability, cheerleaders, or support. Writing can be a lonely road, unless you're really self-disciplined and very self-directed. Without support or accountability, it can be difficult to stay motivated. So all of the accountability that I mentioned before, hire a community, hire a coach, join a community, connect with author buddies, and also protect your writing. So in the early days of your idea, don't share your writing with everybody, because unless your loved ones have written a book themselves, they're probably not the best person to support you. And there's a number of reasons for that. And too many to go into right now. But it's all I really want to say is just protect your little seed, your little dream, your little story, and never, ever, 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 ever show somebody who doesn't know what you're doing, who has never written a book, your first crappy, terrible draft, because they will knock your confidence. It will just completely send you running for the hills. So just protect your writing. So when I was doing the book collaboration, I had 22 authors, and every week they were encouraged to send in their writing. And it was the first hurdle, the first piece of writing that was the biggest hurdle for most people, was just that tentatively sharing their work and trusting me to read their work and give them loving, kind, clear support and direction. And it took a while for us to build up that trust. That people, when they got positive feedback, when they got some direction, they got some clarity, it gave them confidence to go on, that you're on track, keep going. I like this idea. This idea, maybe you can play with that for a little bit longer and see, is it going to fit? Maybe we can rearrange these ideas a little bit and see, maybe this would work better first, this would work better last. You are the author, it's your book. I'm only here as a reader. This is what I feel as a reader. So giving that loving, beautiful feedback was really supportive for the authors. And we've all completed our chapters. We're just waiting on one person who's 90% there, but the 22 chapters are in. And yeah, it's just, it makes a difference having loving, kind, and compassionate support. So really be careful who you share your writing with. Like, nobody sees the baby until it's born. I love that. Stephanie learned on the manual typewriter. Very supportive friends in London. One of them already offered to read the book. Love it. Well done. So if you have friends that can do that, great. But otherwise, just be mindful of who you share your baby with, your baby book, your book baby with. This is a really interesting one. So no author identity established. This can be a block. So most people don't see themselves as an author or a writer until they've published a book in their name, which is a bit of a, I didn't publish a book until I was 49, but I wrote probably every day, whether that was an email, it was a poem, it was a story, it was on a web page. I created, I don't know, up to websites. I've written thousands upon thousands of emails over the last 20 years. So I'm always writing. Every single day I'm writing. So it takes a moment for you to just, it's a real mindset shift. In a beautiful book called Women Who Run with Wolves, Clarissa Pinkola, can't remember her full name. She says, a farmer is a farmer when he's just looking out at the field. A farmer is a farmer when he's having a cup of tea in the kitchen. A writer is a writer all the time. You just be waiting until you have a published book with your name on it. For me, 49 years of age, if I had just accepted earlier that I was a writer and just claimed that identity for myself, it would have helped me, it would have given me confidence, but it also would have helped me to mind my space, would have helped me to say, hey, I'm writing, I can't do that thing for you. I'm writing my book, I'm writing my story, and this is my writing hour. I can't take that call, I can't do that errand, I can't, you know, owning that identity, that author identity, can help you to really own your time, your writing time. And also just consider deciding to write regularly, even if it's only 15 minutes, and just continue to build your writing muscle. So every one of you here participating live with me, how many of you are consider yourselves a writer? So just even just let's just I'm a writer. Just write that in the chat now, or in your secret Google Doc that we can't see, or on your notepad, whatever you want. But I would love to see it in the chat. So I can say I am a writer. I am a writer. I'm a writer because I've written some books and I have some books with my name on it. But I was a writer from as soon as I learned to write. So from that moment of 8 years of age, when I started to write my first story, um, I I am a writer. I am a writer all the time. So I want to see in the chat you just acknowledging, yes, I am a writer. I'm absolutely a writer. I love it. I'm a writer now. I'm a writer. Yes, my darlings, I'm a writer and I write daily. Oh my God, that's it. Brilliant. Well done. Well done. The hardest part, especially in the arts, sometimes people don't get that you're actually working. I know. Yes, I know. I get it, Belinda. I write daily and I'm paid to write too. Oh my God, love that. I'm a writer hibernating. Okay, love it. Right, so number 6, we are there. Not understanding self-publishing versus traditional publishing. So waiting, this can be a block. This can block people because they're waiting for the approval and validation of a famous publisher or an agent or the big publishing dream. And this can delay your author dream for years and years and years. You know, understanding that an advance is technically a loan on future royalties. So let me explain this. Let's say Hay House come along, you put in a book submission, a book proposal, you put in your proposal, and Hay House says, oh my God, yes, we want to partner with you. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Here's 10 grand advance. And you're like, ah, start writing the book. So the advance is on future royalties. So when that book is published, and sometimes it can take up to 2 years or even 3 years to take your book from idea, from acceptance from a publisher right through to, you know, in their schedule of time, it can take 2 years to get that book finally published out into the world. But in those 2 years, that 10 grand advance has to sustain you while you're writing if you don't have anything else to sustain you. And hopefully you do. I wouldn't recommend that you ever just write a book and expect that to be your career in the early days. You know, later on, as I said, when you build up your library of books, yes, you know, speaking gigs and everything else, and you start to build a business around it and whatever. But initially, it would be more of a side gig, and you would be supported with some other income. But so that 10 grand that you got, when that book is published, the first 10 grand in sales goes back to the publisher. Then you start to get royalties after that. And most books, like most books out there, sell about, like, if they have really good advertising and promotion, they sell maybe 2,000. If it's a really good book and it's really doing well and you know how to advertise, it's 2,000 copies. So making that 10 grand back can be a long road away, considering that royalties on books are about €2, 2.50, £2, $2. So, you know, waiting to be published is fucking very old fashioned. It's in my opinion, it's not the beginner's way to write a book and to publish a book. So, you know, we've already established that you are a writer today. Just going to read through these. Yeah, so recognizable. I get this. Develop a very thick skin. It's you. I'm sure we should write a book about it. Oh, royalties were peanuts for your first book, Chilla. Yeah, yeah. So we're more looking as using this book as an asset in your life and in your business. And as I said, you need to build up your library. I was watching an interview, and I can't remember the names of these guys, but they were talking about a series. When you build a series of up to 5 books, then you'll finally start to see some traction on Amazon. When you go onto Amazon, who has experienced this? You go onto Amazon, you buy a book, you click, you're about to click, and underneath it says, hey, people that have bought this book also bought this book. Do you want to put the two of them in your cart? And sometimes you'll go, yes. So Amazon has this automatic, if you have a book series and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books in that series, which you've built up over a few years, Amazon will show your buyers your books in your series. So here's Aisling's book. At the moment, I'm creating a spiritual business series. The first one will be the book Mastery, that's coming out in March. The next one will be how to create your first online course. The next one will be managing your money in business. But when the second book is out, Amazon will automatically show my second book to anybody who's considering buying the first one, or vice versa. So it is like a built-in marketing system. You need to realize that your publishers are looking for partners and someone to sell the book with them. No publisher in this day and age, it's really, really rare, like maybe 1 in a million. So the other, whatever, percent are not going to take your book and go, well done, we'll take it from here, we'll go and sell it. No, they are looking for partners. They're looking to see what your social media presence is, what your email list is, what size that is, how big your audience is, how often you communicate with them as a spiritual business owner. They're looking to partner. They want support to sell the book. So by already writing, you can write a book today and you can upload a book on Amazon for free. You can literally do the whole thing yourself for free. If you're self-disciplined, if you add in accountability, and you could give yourself, block off 6 months, and you were writing 1,000 words a day, within 6 months, you could get your book out there into the world and upload on Amazon for free. Now, there are lots of different places where you can hire help and support throughout that. You could hire a book coach, you could join a community or a coaching program. You could hire somebody to format your book. You could hire somebody to translate your book from an audio. You could hire somebody or translate it from a different language. You could hire somebody to edit. You can hire somebody to create the cover. You can hire somebody to actually upload your book to Amazon for you. You can hire people for very little money throughout this whole process. For example, just off the top of my head, I wrote my book myself. My husband created the cover, but I had trouble formatting it so I could upload it to Amazon. So I went on Fiverr, found somebody, and I think I paid 40 quid for 2 versions, so 80 quid altogether, to format the Kindle version and the paperback version. And then I was easily able to upload those versions to Amazon. So, you can hire somebody every single step of the way. And a publisher wants to see proof of sales and an audience. And if they can see that, it can help you get a publishing deal later. So an example of that would be Denise Dupuy-Thomas, who wrote Lucky Bitch and luckybitch.com, GetRichLuckyBitch.com. Get Rich Lucky Bitch. And the other one was Chillpreneur. It's now called Chill and Prosper. So her first 2 books, she self-published them, upgraded them every few years, new covers, and just kept self-publishing them. And maybe 10 years, I'm going to just guess it's 10 years, Hay House came along and gave her a 3-book deal, republished her first 2 books, and paid her to write her 3rd book, which was Chillpreneur. And last year, I think they paid her to update the book after COVID. So having those 2 books already written, already have sales, proof of sales, has an audience, has an email list, is literally a publisher's dream deal, dream author. So publishing your book yourself can really support you to get a publishing deal later on. And it means that you have the book already written, so you have the hardest part written. So love all this. So how are you feeling about this? These are the 6 blocks. How are you feeling? What's your biggest block? to becoming an author. So looking at those 6 blocks that we talked about, what would be your biggest block? What do you think has been your biggest block? Because it's not anymore, because we've already boom blasted through them. So let me see in the chat. Let me see in the chat. So here we go. The technical stuff and developing an email list. Okay, well done, Stephanie. Okay. So that's one thing that might slow you down a little bit. So you might have to just block some time to get that piece set up. Techie stuff again. Okay, so as I said, you can get support every step of the way. You can pay for support for things that you can't do yourself. Book cover designs, have done them already. Brilliant. And you can totally pay somebody to do that. When I go to Fiverr, we do judge a book by me, says Kate. So what is it in you, Kate, apart from the fact that you have an 8-week-old baby in your arms, you know, what is it that might stop you from, you know, maybe it's childcare, maybe it's giving yourself a break for a few months, maybe it's saying, okay, I'm not going to write my book for another 2 months, you know, maybe give yourself a break around that. Maybe voice to text, maybe committing to just doing 15 minutes. Because I know when I had young babies, like finding 15 minutes was hard, but definitely take the first 6 months of new baby land and just enjoy having your baby there. Being hesitant about how to put it into the world and actually thinking about self-publishing. Okay, Josephine, I've got you. Procrastinating. So we're going to have a look at more of that later. We're going to look at your blueprint. We're going to look at your ideas tomorrow, and we're going to talk more. I'll be answering all your questions over the next few days. Procrastination when facing bits like I don't feel like it, I don't want to. I'm a coach. Don't find somebody to motivate myself. Yes. So, you know, I need a coach. I know one coach, one of my mentors, when she was writing her first book, she paid somebody just to babysit her. She's book babysitter. So she just literally paid somebody to come and sit on Zoom. She was an author and an editor, a couple coach, and she would just sit and type for an hour. And the book coach was editing as she was going, was like taking it on board, was giving her advice, was supporting her, but basically was just sitting with her so that she would actually physically write the book. So, you know, that would be something that would really suit me, because I really thrive on accountability, and too many ideas in my head, very difficult to decide what to work on. Yes, so choose the easiest path. Just choose one. That's a block. That's procrastination. That's your ego. Just choose one. What is the easiest idea? It doesn't have to be the best idea. It can just be the easiest idea. Perfectionism. Okay, so we've already decided that your first draft is going to be terrible. So you embrace it, embrace nap time, and accept help and allow for the flow of least resistance. I love that. So many ideas, can't focus on one. So you can, my darling Wendy, you can just pick one idea. It doesn't matter which one you pick, once it's in fairly the easiest. And there's nothing like putting it out there and doing something to light a fire under myself. Yeah, love it. Okay, so what changes and actions are you going to make to support your author dreams? So what steps are you going to take? If we could just write one step in the chat, what would be one step that you're going to take? So we're coming up with about 20 minutes left that I'm available here. So we're going to wind up these slides, and then I'm going to be here to answer any more questions that you have. But just pop in the chat now, or think about what is the one change or action that you can make to support your author dreams. Today, this week, set up a writing space. Love it. So many long soul to mind conversations, channels, text, putting it out there in marketing is a challenge. So decide that you're going to get some help and support with that, Muriel. Go on Fiverr and see if you can get somebody to help. You know, or have a look at what are the steps, or decide to hire a coach or join a community. And by the way, Muriel has already completed, I don't know how many decks of Oracle cards that I've bought and how many books of poetry and prose that you've written, Muriel. So she's already a published author and still has some challenges in the marketing area. So, you know, we can all learn this. We just need to figure out where we are. Stephanie says, just do it. Wendy says, get the outline. So we're going to be doing the idea tomorrow and the blueprint on day 3. So we're going to do that outline together. Scheduling it. Love it, Josephine. Well done. Decide on the topic. Open the doc. Always a great way. I love it. I have Google Docs for everything. Speak to my network team of friends and friends of friends. Yes, my darling. And just, you go easy with yourself, Kate, because you do have a tiny baby there. So, you know, and your body is healing after giving birth and everything. So do go easy with yourself and just, you know, give yourself maybe 15 minutes a day, I would say, something like that. So just a reminder of what's coming. Day 2, what's your big idea? So we're going to go right into that. I'm going to share all my fastest brainstorming techniques. We're going to talk about mind mapping, legacy, author goals, how to build an accountability. Brilliant. It's going to be a brilliant day tomorrow. And then day 3 is your essential blueprint for your book. This is the map and the plan. We're going to talk about milestones, looking at time focus and how to keep momentum going. We're going to look at different software that you can use. And we're going to look at the different milestones or author goals and how to build accountability into your plan. So we have an exciting 2 days coming. So whether you come live or watch the replay, and please make use of this. My goal, my desire is that by the end of this book, BooKcamp for Spiritual Entrepreneurs, you'll have your book idea and a roadmap to achieve it, that you'll have the plan in front of you, and it will just be up to you to take those steps. Breathe. You don't have to know how or know everything. Every step of the way you can choose to DIY it, or you can hire somebody to help you. There's always somebody that you can put some money aside, and it's not as much money as you think, and you can get some help and support. So just let's have a check-in now and just see. I know the numbers were generally quite high. At the beginning, I asked everybody, how confident are you that you can write and publish a book? Just let me have another check-in now and just let me know. How confident are you now that you can write and publish a book? Where will we see the replay? The replays will be on the concierge page, and you will get an email with replays. So don't worry. 9, 9, 10, 9, 10. Love it. 8, 8, 8. Love it. Brilliant. So I love that our confidence level has boosted. Imagine what's going to happen after 3 days of being together in this beautiful space. So yes, for any of you that are interested, that want to work with me, that are looking at, okay, I would love to do this, but I know for me, I need some extra support. You can join my coaching program, Empowered Author Coaching Program. It's called Ignite. Write and publish your spiritual and transformational book in 6 months. It is mainly for spiritual entrepreneurs. So those of you that have a spiritual business, you have an audience, and you want to write your process. This is not, it's a 6-month process, so it's not for a memoir. It would be more for your healing process. And the URL is ashlingmooney.com/ignite. You can go check it out. If you have any questions, I'm here during the next few days to answer them. There are only 11 places available, and I expect those places to be booked by the end of this week. Coaching, community, clarity, and accountability every single step of the way. All of this is included and more. Go and have a look at the sales page if you want to just have a look. But you get support at every single step of the way. As I said, it's a 6-month journey. You can get started with the lowest payment plan is $247 a month, plus VAT, and there are only 11 places. So if that's resonating, if it's calling you, if you have questions around that, you can totally reach out and support and ask me for support. So before we jump into Q&A, what is your biggest aha or takeaway from today? What are you taking away with you today? What did you not know before, or maybe you had an idea of it, but you've just confirmed for you? what is it what's the one biggest golden nugget that you have gotten from today? And then we're going to jump into Q&A. So what is the one golden nugget that you have got from today? And I would love to hear that. A bit more inspired, optimistic, that it's achievable. Love it. Holding some space for this baby inside me. It's the season, I believe. Well done, Melinda. I am a writer. Josephine, nice to be with people with the same ambition. Love it. Dictating your book on Google Doc, getting a book translated. Yes, lots of ahas. Oh my God, OMG moments. Love it. Love this. And I hope to see every single one of you tomorrow. So I'm going to stop the share for a moment and open up for questions. Loving the interaction with my fellow writers. Love it. Community is like, it's one of my core reasons I get anything done in life is community. I work way better in community, with coaches, with community. So questions. What are your questions? I'm here for the next 15 minutes available if you need it. What questions have come through for you as we're speaking? What questions have you, I might be answering them in the next day or two, but have you any questions after today's? It could be about the program. It could be about anything that we've covered. It could be about your time, schedule, any of those blocks. Any questions? You can just even unmute yourself if you want to share. I am here for you. Everybody's a bit shy. Okay, if there are no questions on our live, I'm going to leave it there and let you go. When did you want to say something, my darling? Do you want to say something? Thinking. Okay, I'm going to give you some thinking time. I'm going to pull an angel card for us while we're thinking then. Okay, I will pull. This is from. So these are my books. This is Angels Are With You, and this is my oracle card deck and guidebook that I wrote. And the first two books, I'm hoping by the end of next year I'll have two more, at least two books on my shelf, and then all of the other authors that I'm going to support this year, their books as well on the shelf. It'd be amazing. Okay, oh my God. Archangel Nathaniel, a new earth, light worker, it's your time, evolve. Oh my God. And there's this beautiful angel looking up at the stars. It's your time, evolve. You know, the biggest ahas for me on this author journey, to becoming an author, was when I published my first book. At the end of it, it taken me years and years and years to get to that stage where I had published that book. And I remember thinking after it, fucking hell, was that easy? Why, if I had just known earlier, I could have, it was just a years of not regret, because I don't regret anything of that time, but just that it was so easy. And my goal or my desire is that every single one of you that has attended today or will attend the next few days, that you realize that it's possible. It is possible for you. And it's also, we don't have to get that big publishing deal or that big fancy agent to come along and swipe up our book and go, oh my God, you're the author I've been looking for. I'm going to take it from here and I'm going to go. That's in the past. That's not going to happen. So if we're realistic, and if we realize that we are our biggest asset in selling our book, and also that it can be way cheaper than we think to publish a book, and that we can do it ourselves, or we can do it in a small community, or we can do it with one book coach, that we don't need a big, massive publisher, and that our first book doesn't have to be the book, the memoir, the hardest one. It can be just a simple process. The second book can be a diary or a journal. The third book could be an oracle book. The next book could be, you know, you could write a series of books. It could be, the average book is about 80,000 words, but some ebooks are 30,000 words, 50,000 words. So it doesn't have to be a big chunky book. So this one is probably 250 pages, but I have other books. It could be half of that. It could be totally half of that. It doesn't have to be a full 8,000 word book for your first one. It could be 30,000 words or 40,000. It could be your process, your healing process that you want to get out in the world. It's the actual act of publishing your book, choosing the easiest option to get started, can be the stepping stone that you need to become a published author in the future. And it with the fancy publisher, with Hay House or whatever else that you know, that might come along. So I put myself a card. What do I need to know to write my book? The answer was Jeremiah, Heal the Past and Change the Future. Oh my God. So Jeremiah is the Akashic Records. So Jeremiah, oh my God. Jeremiah, if you were to look at Jeremiah, it would be an angel that would have books. He literally brings you into the Akashic Records to open your book of Akashic Records. So I would say for you, Chilla, that message is that you have so many books inside of you right now. Like literally, I know that actually one of your comments was that you had don't know where to start. So it's like tomorrow we're going to look at the ideas. We're going to get all those ideas down and out of our brains and onto a page or a Google Doc. And then we're going to prioritize them in order. We're going to say, okay, prioritize them in order of ease and path of least resistance. Which one could be the easiest? So a diary might be easiest. A coloring book could be easy. A journal could be easy. You know, rather than the 80,000 words of whatever the healing process that I'm going to live that's going to change the world. That could be the book you start with, but we're also going to look at what would be the really easy one to start with, just to get you to know all of the different parts, especially if it's a learning curve about editing and formatting and grammar and book covers and the tech. If it's a learning curve, a big learning curve for you, I would say let your first book be a really easy, simple one. If just one person says that something I've written has resonated with them, my work is done. I love that. Oh, I love that. When you say a journal, what do you mean? I mean like a book that you can write in. Just I don't have any journals here. Oh, here's an example. This is Leonie Dawson. This is a workbook. So, and it's literally it's you can fill in. You can fill in, there's spaces and you can write into it. So that could be a journal. And this also should be journaling. Let me just say. So there's like spaces to write, to journal. So you could totally have a 20, whatever year you want to do of a diary and just have blank pages and have nice graphics and have maybe your inspirational a poem that you wrote or an angel message. So I could, for example, write an oracle book today. I could literally take that book of angel messages and I could expand that into a larger book, and I could leave space for people to interact with the cards, to what messages are coming through for you, do a little meditation, and leave space for them to journal. So they could totally journal in a book. So you can totally print off a book and with lots of spaces in it for people to write in. You can also print off a diary. You can print off coloring books. You can go and create images to color, and you could totally create a coloring book. So I could do an angel coloring book if I wanted to. I hope that answers your question. Look for low content books on Amazon to inspire you. Yeah, you could totally do that. So we're going to go more into ideas tomorrow. Giggling as I have made it so difficult for myself, says Wendy. I get it. And that's it. We can make it seem like this big thing, but actually it is much easier. It's a process. We might need some help along the way with different parts of it, you know, depending on your skills, but literally the path to writing a published book is not difficult. And there is help and support out there to help us every step of the way. So
Aishling, can I say
yes,
something?
yes,
Yeah, I've been writing, as you know, for the last few years, especially over COVID, and I have a lot of those soul to mind conversations done with the artwork. And they've done a lot of healing for me, but they're all channeled. And I
yeah,
know they need a little bit of editing, but I wouldn't like to change them too much because there's a lot of depth I feel given within them.
mm-hmm.
But in time, I probably would like to put them in a book. I've lots of other things done as well, but yeah, they're longer pieces though. They're longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're longer pieces in the sense, you know, my cards, they only have short messages.
Yeah.
But you might need, yeah, about 140 of them done. Like, so yeah, in time maybe.
Brilliant.
The idea of, like, I have all the stuff. It's a matter of typing stuff up,
Yeah.
organizing, and yeah.
No better woman.
Yeah. Someday, Aishling, someday.
Go away with that. Look, let me just show you this. Let me just show you this. This is Muriel. This is probably 3 decks in one. I'm a bit. These are. I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick one. This is from Muriel's. Oh, what's this one? What's this one? Love that.
Oh, I love flowers. I have thousands of pictures of flowers, and I put a deck together. But I have another one with 150.
Oh my God! Listen,
I have not
shush,
published yet.
Muriel, stop!
Okay.
Listen to this.
Sorry.
What are your dearest dreams when young but a child? And but a child, what are the special hopes that light your sacred fire? What were the passions that always kept you going? Did you throw them all away? Cast shadows on a precious life that is so beautiful and divine. Dance from life's shadows now. Turn a brand new page. Allow life's wonders to unfold in all their unique preciousness. Absolutely love it. So you could totally put those new pieces into a book, Muriel. Absolutely, no reason why not. And the big, like, the learning curve for you is really around the marketing, and you know that. And I would just ask you to commit to getting your email list set up before you do anything else, before you create anything else, before you spend any more money on any other software or printing or whatever. I would say go and get your email list set up, because you've got an audience there, but you haven't started gathering that audience together on an email list. That would be my advice to you. And this is probably the 50th time I'm saying this to you. So maybe today you might listen. And you might
Aishling,
get on
I
board.
get hundreds of emails in, and my head is done in with all the emails every day. The list is growing bigger, and I have
No,
not
this is
time to
your
read
email
them.
list. This is
Yeah.
your email list that you need to set up. This is where your community is. Social media can disappear tomorrow. I lost my Instagram account last month, 1,000 followers gone. I lost a Facebook page, 3,000 followers gone. Facebook, I heard somebody in one of my workshops, 60,000 people in a Facebook group, and Facebook just closed the group overnight. So social media, do not depend on it for your business. Go and open your email list, get yourself set up on Aweber, MailChimp, whatever it is. Go and Google it if you don't know how to do it. Go and take some of my workshops. Go and fucking sign up to the Abundant Heart program. Do something. In the Ignite program, you get biz basics. So I take you through the whole launch process, including how to set up your profile, everything like that, everything that you need to set yourself up as a business online, as an author in business, as a spiritual entrepreneur. But so that is, I'm putting it out there to you, Muriel, and anyone else. Get your email list set up, my darling. Okay. love. Okay. Last question. We learned how to make a cup of tea before it becomes a habit. Yeah. Could Muriel create a separate email account for her business? Absolutely, you could do that. And Muriel's work is stunning. Inga mentioned using LinkedIn for emails last week. Okay, I don't know, you'd have to asking about that. I've never heard of that. I would suggest that you set up your email list on Aweber, or I'm going to talk more about that. I think it's in day 3 about software that you need as an author. That is it, my darlings. Thank you so much. I'm gonna just get us into gallery view and just do a quick photo. Everybody smile. Smile. Are we all there? Yeah. Well, wait, no, one. Sorry. Try again. Josephine's joining us. Hi, Josephine. Hold on, everybody. I'll do a quick photo. Hopefully this works. Cheese. Gotchas, I hope. Oh, hold on. Maria's coming as well. Wait, no. Maria's here. Hi, Maria, I was thinking of you. I was thinking of you the other day, that it could be time to put you. I know you've done the diary, you've done the calendars. It could be time to put your artwork into a book, love. So it actually popped into my mind. So let me just do a last one. Cheese. There we go. Okay, hopefully that went through. I'm going to love yous and leave yous all. I will see you here. I'll be back here tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and I'll be here for another 90 minutes to support you. We will be going through ideas, and then on Thursday we will be creating our blueprint for our book. If anyone is interested in Ignite, I was going to say Unite, Ignite, reach out to me, ask me questions. I'm here for this week for that. There are only 11 places available, and I can't take any more. I really tuned into this, and I was like, how many people could I take through a 6-month program, hand on my heart, know that I could support them? And I tested all sorts of numbers, and I can't go past 11. So there are literally only 11 places, and it is open for whoever it is that needs that support or wants my support in helping you to get your book out there this year. Loads of love, my darlings. I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you in the Facebook group as well. Bye.